Hello and welcome to Your Broken Galaxy. I am Broken, and today I'm answering the question, what if Grand Admiral Thrawn joined the rebellion? This idea was recommended by Saya Cosmo Power V's Edrain 2757. So, good old Grand Admiral Thrawn is flying around in the unknown regions, just doing his thing, Empire of the Hand and all, and one day he gets a report from Palpatine that the D-Star has been destroyed by a group of about 15 starfighters around the planet of Yavin 4. And Thrawn laughs and says, "Tarkin, you absolute buffoon. I knew that idiotic experiment in warfare would ruin you, but now you've lost the lives of millions of men. But these rebels, really 15 starfighters. I could have destroyed the thing, but I would have taken a small fleet at least. There might be something there." So Thrawn gets onto his fleet's PA system and makes an announcement. He says, "Men, the Empire doesn't care about any of us. It created a planet-destroying weapon which recently destroyed the surface of both Jakku and Scarif and completely blew up the planet of Alderaan." "Alderaan?" a technician sitting behind Thrawn on the bridge says. "That's my homeworld. Oh gosh, no, my wife, my mom, dad, little baby Steve Jr." And Thrawn stops and says, Oh, Steve, I'm so sorry." Then he looks at the guy standing next to Steve and says, "Jerry, please see that Steve gets to his quarter and calls the ship's counselor to help him through this. I'll be down myself to visit in about half an hour." Thrawn returns to the PA and says, "Okay, guys, I'm sorry to inform you this, but Steve Wilcox, one of the computer technicians on the bridge crew, is actually from Alderaan. So if you see him, or... Oh, no, I was going to ask you to give Steve a word of encouragement, but now I'm realizing there's probably a lot of you that are also from Alderaan. I'm so sorry, guys. I shouldn't have made this announcement publicly. I should have found out who was from Alderaan on board and told you in private. I am sorry. I guess it's too late for that. Everyone from Alderaan, please take the time off work that you need to process this horrible information. I'll have the ship's chaplain prepare a service for tomorrow afternoon. Anyway, to the rest of you, we're leaving the Empire and joining the rebellion. We don't want this happening to any more worlds." So Thrawn, brilliant mastermind that he is, flies back to Imperial space. First thing he does is drop out of hyperspace around a world, have all the captains of the local fleets come on board his ship, and tells them to join or suffer the destruction of their fleets. By doing this, he discreetly is able to hold the captains hostage and take over dozens of fleets from dozens of worlds. After 2 weeks of doing this, on the fringes of the Empire starts to realize that something is wrong, but it's too late. Thrawn drops his fleet in Kuat and immediately opens fire on the shipbuilding facilities and dozens of ships in orbit. From Kuat, he broadcasts a message saying that he is leading a fleet of 38 Star Destroyers, as well as hundreds of other ships, has liberated more than 20 worlds from the Empire, and is looking to join the Rebel Alliance. So the Rebels contact him and are able to set up a meeting. A single, unassuming Gazanti cruiser shows up carrying Thrawn, and he meets with Mon Mothma and Admiral Akbar. And Mon says, "Our Bothans have confirmed your recent activities of liberation. Unfortunately, about 30 of them perished to bring us this information." "Oh no, that's so sad," Thrawn says, as Admiral Akbar rolls his eyes at the statement about the Bothans. And he says, "Grand Admiral Thrawn, I am Fleet Admiral Akbar, commander of the Rebel fleet. If you are willing to join us, then you will be reduced to the rank of Admiral and serve under my command, continuing to oversee the forces that you have brought with you." Now, don't be so hasty, Admiral Akbar," Mon Mothma says. "I think that we should allow Grand Admiral Thrawn to retain his rank of Grand Admiral, and that you should share responsibility in leading the rebel efforts." And Thrawn and Akbar both look at each other with concern, and Thrawn says, "Well, I'm not sure how that would work within the bounds of military hierarchy." And Akbar says, "This isn't going to go well." But Mon Mothma has made her decision. She orders that Home One and the Chimera, the two flagships of the admirals, undergo construction to have the ships fused together so that both admirals can be on the same ship and lead the fleet alongside one another. Both admirals protest greatly, and both of them say that they would rather serve as second in command rather than share leadership. But Mon has decided. So after 5 months of continuous work on Home One and the Chimera, they are finally fused in some sort of I don't know. What do you call it when two things are fused together like that? Anyway, the two admirals get living quarters right across the hall from each other. But Mon Mothma has decided that an open floor plan would be best for business, and that neither of them gets to have their own office. Instead, they have to work among all their subordinates, where those subordinates can see every single disagreement they have, which is a lot. Akbar wants to take the fleet into the galactic east to free more of the Outer Rim worlds and bolster their forces, while Thrawn is wanting to deliver a swift blow to shipyards that the Empire relies on. Just argument after argument, and almost nothing is getting done, and the fleet is just sitting still. So one day, the Empire finds the rebel base on Hoth, and they jump into the system only to find the rebel fleet there waiting for them because Akbar and Thrawn couldn't agree on what else to do. They brutally attack Vader's fleet, which is unable to escape because of interdictors that were captured. They destroy the bridge of the Executor, finishing off Darth Vader, but otherwise take control of the ship and immediately start repairing it. Luke goes to Dagobah and starts his training. Han leaves like he originally planned to pay off Jabba, but then he comes back, and Mon Mothma throws a pizza party for Admiral Akbar and Thrawn to celebrate their brilliant decision to leave the fleet in Hoth as a defense force. After this, the Emperor is freaking mad, right? But Luke does a solid 3 years of Jedi training, and Yoda's like, "Your father Vader was." And Luke says, "What?" And Yoda says, "Defeat him, I wanted you to. But too late for that is, I guess. Complete your training is. A Jedi Knight you are. Return to the rebels you must. Peace out." And then he vanishes. And Luke is like, "Oh my gosh, that's really emotionally jarring information." So Obi-Wan pops up and says, "BT dubs, Leia's your sister. Sorry for letting you kiss her on Hoth. Bye." So Luke gets in his X-Wing and starts flying back to the fleet. Really confused, right? Meanwhile, Akbar and Thrawn have been squabbling like children, and Mon Mothma's like, boys, please. We just lost like 1,000 Bothans to get this information about the second D-Star. And Akbar says, "I should be the one to lead the briefing. I was the first one here." And Thrawn says, "But Mon, I brought the bigger fleet. We wouldn't even be here if I didn't join the rebellion." So Mon says, "Okay, one more word, and I'm going to have both of you sit out of this briefing, and General Maydean and I will do it ourselves." To which Maydean, who is standing behind Mothma, sticks his tongue out at the two admirals, who both start to open their mouths, but Mon Mothma widens her eyes in a stern look and raises a finger to remind them both, and both of them say in unison, "Yes, Mon." So Luke, who is like amazing, super powerful Jedi now because of intense training for 3 years with Yoda, instead of going off to save Han after 3 months, ends up getting back to the fleet, and he decides to destroy the base on Endor by himself, while the fleet jumps in for the attack. So Luke arrives on Endor, eats some teddy bears, sets up his plan of attack, sneaks inside the base, ends up planting the bombs, and using the Force to sense that his sister has arrived at Endor with the fleet, blows up the shield generator. He hops on a speeder bike, flies to his stealth ship, and escapes the planet. There are many, many more rebel ships, and the Emperor isn't distracted by the daddy issues that Luke and Vader were having, so as soon as the fleet jumped in, he had the Death Star fire on the Executor, the biggest ship that the rebels had. However, thankfully, the ship is only crewed by a few dozen sacrificial Bothans because they knew it would be a great target. Akbar and Thrawn are yelling over one another, giving orders, and it is sheer chaos. But Han and Chewie, who are joined by Nien Nunb and Lando on the Millennium Falcon's turrets, end up flying their space RV into the D-Star with Wedge and Tycho. The Emperor is able to feel the danger he is in because of the starfighters, since he isn't distracted by all of the family drama, and says, "Well, this sucks." The Falcon and Wedge blow up the reactor and flee, and Thrawn and Akbar lead the fleet to victory, capturing dozens of Star Destroyers and destroying many others. The galaxy is saved as hundreds of worlds flock to the New Republic, and many of the forces of the Empire submit, knowing that there is no way they could stand against both Thrawn and Akbar. After a couple of years of defeating the holdouts of the Empire, Thrawn and Akbar lead the fleet in outstanding victory against the Yuzong Vong and end up at the same retirement home, where they tell all the young whippersnappers about their adventures, but constantly squabbling over the finer details of their adventures. Well, that is my video for today. Thank you for watching. If you have ideas for videos for me, please put them in the comments below. They don't have to be what ifs. You can just ask me to talk about a funny Star Wars topic. As you may have noticed, you could hear my neighbor's dog at certain points in the video. The audio quality wasn't great. I want to let you guys know, I just got fully monetized. I got 1,000 subscribers earlier this week, and I got a notification last night that I had 4,000 watch hours, which means I can start making money from ads on these videos. And I'll tell you, the first thing I want to buy for my channel is a better audio setup. So if you guys want to help out with that, you can support through Patreon, or you can become a member of my YouTube channel now. That is one of the things that I want to get in order to invest in the channel and make this a nicer experience for you guys. Whether you do that or not, I am so grateful that you have watched these videos, and I am having a live stream. Hopefully, I'm looking at the technical things. About 10 hours after this video goes live. If you guys want to get on that and chat with me, that could be fun. Hopefully it'll be enjoyable for you. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all that garbage.